with Chris. I'm Chris Fisk, and today I'm here with Saucon Valley Panthers high school lacrosse and soccer player Bode Spencer. Bode, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you.
Good, good. So with so this past season with soccer, it was a really rough season for you guys. I believe you only had like what 2 wins, was it?
Yeah.
So about that, how did that how was that for you, like emotionally wise for you and the team? Like, what were you guys going throughout that really abysmal season?
Well, we've tried to have like a positive attitude at all times. In my opinion, I think a lot of teams are better with like that family kind of attitude. So we try to keep that attitude at all times, even when it wasn't looking so great. But we kept our heads up and we ended up getting a few wins. So that was pretty fun. But just trying to stay together, and just work as hard as we can to get good results and see what comes out of that.
hmm So, what do you guys plan on doing next season to try to avoid another one of those seasons? Like, are you trying to do more practices? What do you guys and the coaches got planned for this coming up season to get more wins, avoid that terrible season?
Well, we have a lot of stuff in place. We're starting scrimmages as early as right now, so that's pretty fun. We have like lifting programs and practices hopefully over the summer, so we're gonna try and get some good stuff in. But it's also mostly just getting growth. A lot of these schools with good soccer players, they have a lot of people to pick from. So just spreading the word and kind of getting a lot of people to try out, so we do have those options, and then we're lucky enough to pick from them would be great. So we're trying to do as much as we can to have a better season.
hmm Now, are you on the JV or the varsity team?
I kind of switch in between both. I mostly played JV last season, and then the last couple games I was on varsity, but mostly JV playing time for that season.
Mhm. Now, what do you think is the difference between the JV and varsity? Is there like bigger, better competition in varsity and JV? What do you think about that?
Yeah, high school soccer was like my first kind of introduction to high school sports, and it's definitely a whole different ballgame than anything I've really played in. But
Mhm.
I think that high school is a lot more competitive. I think the main difference is just the size of the kids and the maturity of the kids that you have. I mean, some teams you have these big 6'5" seniors playing freshman and sophomore that are like 5'7", 5'8" sometimes, and even
Mhm.
smaller. So I think definitely the size of the competition.
Mhm.
I think JV was pretty fun. I think I think it's less like sizable, and for me, it's more of like an even playing field compared to when you play varsity. You do have those really big kids and athletic kids like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think definitely a big difference.
hmm Now, going back to last season, in your opinion, what do you think went wrong? Was it like the team chemistry? Was it just like other teams, other schools had just better players? What, in your opinion, what do you think happened to cause that season last year?
I think that really we had good team chemistry. We all liked playing with each other. We enjoyed each other's like presence. I think part of it was just not really being able to piece it together. We had a first year head coach, good head coach, but I mean it's really hard to have a turnaround results in your first year. So I think hopefully this year we'll be able to piece it together a little bit more. But I think just kind of building on essentially nothing last year was kind of hard to do. So it was pretty hard.
hmm how do you for varsity? Like, how do you plan on trying to push more for like minutes for yourself? Now you're going to sophomore year. Do you have like any not like goals, but like intuitions to try to get more minutes on the varsity team? Since a lot of players and like kids are coming out through going to college now. You think you'll kind of try to push and try to see yourself more in a prominent role for varsity soccer?
That's always been a goal in general in anything you want to do. You want to be like the best you can possibly be. So I think that's definitely something I want to like. That was a goal last year. It's something I want to do this year. And I think I don't know, just like I've been training. I've been doing a lot of
hmm
like I've been running a lot. I've been lifting in the garage. I've been playing outside as much as I can. So there's definitely like putting in a little bit more effort, putting in a little bit more work, and hopefully, also there's like sessions that our team will have available where I can work on it a lot more. But just kind of working on it and working at it as much as I can, see what happens from there.
hmm how long have you been playing soccer?
I actually started really late. I kind of started in sixth grade. I wasn't even planning on playing at all, and a couple of buddies of mine started playing, and they were like, they just wanted me to play because it was COVID, really had nothing to do. So I started playing, and I was kind of decent at it. I've always just been athletic and trying to like do as much as I can. So I was pretty decent, but the team that we had there was pretty good, and I just kind of continued from there.
Now, through that COVID season, what was it like? Was there like a big difference between like a COVID year and a regular year? Well, in your opinion, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was certainly weird. I mean, that was the first experience I had with soccer, but drawing from other years, playing other sports, I think, yeah, it was definitely weird. It was definitely kind of like a weird vibe. I remember they tried to get us to play in masks, which like quickly
Hmm.
died down because that's like impossible to even play sports with a mask on. But
Yeah.
it was definitely weird. It's kind of an interesting experience and something that it like throws you off a little bit.
Hmm. Now, do you plan on playing soccer past high school into college and maybe even pro league?
That's something I definitely want to do. I mean, I think I've wanted to play college sports in any way, shape, or form. I've wanted to play college sports since I was really young. So
Hmm.
that's definitely something I would want to do. Yeah, if there's an opportunity available for me, I'd certainly take it.
Hmm. Now, I know your dad works for the Muhlenberg women's wrestling team, so you've been to Muhlenberg a lot. Is that like do you think could you consider that as an option for you for college, whether for college sports or even education there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have a great program. I think that the not only the athletics, but just it's a very smart school, very top rated school, and it would be certainly a degree that I would like to like definitely I'd like to do. And then obviously, just the programs that they have there between Coach Topping and soccer. And
Hmm.
even if we play lacrosse, like Coach Plunkett, they run their teams very well. They're very respectable coaches, and they definitely have the results to prove how respectable they are. So
Hmm.
if I got the opportunity to do that, that'd be something I'd certainly look forward to doing.
Definitely, definitely. Um, Now last question for the soccer part. For this coming up season, do you have any goals for yourself or even for the team for this year, or for this coming up year?
Yeah, I think improvement is something that you always want to do. You always want to go up rather than down, and that's definitely something that we'll all look forward to. I personally would like to get more varsity minutes, but really whatever I can do to like help the team, if that's playing JV or varsity or doing whatever. I don't know. I trust the coach. I trust the people. If I'm not playing varsity, that means that there's people better than me playing, and that means we're winning. So that would
Hmm.
be something that'd be really cool. But yeah, whatever I can do to help the team, but also hopefully our team definitely has more success than last year.
Hmm. Also, what position are you in for soccer?
I'm a forward.
Okay, so you get a lot of action with the ball then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right. So for lacrosse, for past year, how did that go for you and the team, record wise, stats wise? How, in your opinion, how did that go for you guys?
So for me personally, it was also my first year playing lacrosse since I was like a pretty little kid, and I only played club lacrosse 1 year then, so it was pretty fun coming back
Hmm.
into us. We didn't really have a great season. We again kind of like soccer. We have a brand new coaching staff. We have a lot of new kids that just started playing, and we lost a lot of key players last year, so we really had to build on it. Unfortunately, there wasn't any results in terms of winning, but you can definitely see us definitely see us grow, and hopefully next year turns out a lot better.
Hmm. So it's like a rebuild for you guys. I mean, losing guys, bringing new kids in. How do you think that's gonna go? Like, how long of a span of time until you get back into that championship type status for both lacrosse and even soccer?
Yeah, so and for me, lacrosse, I think it might take a little bit of time. We don't have necessarily a lot of like the numbers that we want. We don't have coming in next year,
Hmm.
but we certainly do have numbers for the years to come. So that'd be really cool to see. But I think it takes however much time it needs, and I also think it's really not great to rush it because the more you rush it, the more it kind of fades away.
Hmm.
We have a great coaching staff. We have a couple former players. So I think they run the program really well. They have a very family like this. It's very family atmosphere over there. It's everybody's kind of a family. We're all kind of united. So yeah, hopefully we're able to get more kids in. So that'd be huge for the lacrosse team.
Hmm. Do you think that the lacrosse sport is kind of dying down because you were saying that not many kids are coming up? You think it's like You think not many people like lacrosse anymore, whether it's because it's dangerous or what? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that actually lacrosse is growing in popularity.
Hmm.
We see it's obviously very popular in other states such as like Maryland and New York, and yeah, it's pretty big over there, and it's starting to kind of bleed into Pennsylvania. We have a great club program kind of coming down, and a lot of kids unfortunately are coming up to play lacrosse, just not continuing their careers at Saucon Valley,
Hmm.
which is kind of a bummer because we need those numbers. But yeah, I do believe it's growing. I just don't believe that. I don't believe in the very, very near future we'll see an insane amount of growth at Saucon Valley. I would hope that happens. I wish that happens. But I actually do think it's ramping up in Lehigh Valley in terms of numbers, just unfortunately not at Saucon Valley High School.
Hmm. Do you or even the coaches, do you guys have like a plan on trying to like grow, trying to get more kids in? Like, are they like scouting for kids, maybe trying to get some transfers in? Because I even know someone who's in middle school who's transferring to a high school next year for sports. Are you guys doing the same like that?
I think there is a that's definitely an issue in terms of our program is just kids moving to different schools, different other local private schools. And those schools that they're transferring to have been historically good, and we have hardly had a program for a little over a decade. So
Mhm.
I think there's a need to build a name on Saucon Valley Lacrosse, but that doesn't necessarily happen when all these kids are going to these other big name schools.
Mhm.
So we do kind of have to push forward, and Coach Petit is super good. He's been going to these youth games, been looking at these kids and
Mhm.
uh, just reporting us back and kind of measuring it out. So if we are able to grow this youth team
Mhm.
and that we have in like the Saucon Valley club, and then kind of bring them up to high school and like breed them into the high school program and draw them away from transferring, those numbers would be dramatically increased. We had hardly 20 kids on the team this year when other schools like Nazareth, their varsity team alone consists of 25 plus kids, if not more.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, numbers is primarily what we need. There's more depth would be very helpful. I mean, I started playing this year and I already was starting the last couple games, so the depth would be amazing for our team.
Mhm. So, what position are you in for lacrosse?
So I started the season out playing a little bit of midfield, but I transitioned to attack, which is where I felt the best, and I felt was my position best suited for me and the team, and yeah, I was lucky enough to finish where I wanted to be this season.
Hmm. Are the positions like soccer? Like, do you mind explaining that for people? Like, I haven't been like, I'm not really a lacrosse kind of guy. Could you explain for like someone like me who doesn't really know like positions and what people play?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are three attackmen. There was usually one behind the goal and two to the right, or two to the right and left. So it's sort of like a soccer, except there's usually the one attackman that is behind the goal. Then commonly you have on the other side you'll have midfield, which would be usually an offensive midfield, but they play both offense and defense. And then
Hmm.
you'll have an LSM, which is the long stick midfielder, and they'll
Hmm.
usually play more defense, but they can also still play offense. And
Hmm.
then you'll have defender goalie.
Hmm. That makes sense. So for last question, what are some goals you have for lacrosse for yourself and for the team?
Um, I just hope that we're able to get a good season in next year. I hope that we're able to produce next year and build off of this season.
Hmm.
Like I said, we didn't have the results we wanted, but there was definitely some instances where we definitely saw ourselves growing and already kind of going through this like rebuild, but turning out pretty good. So for me, I'd like to kind of personally, I'd like to obviously do like I said for soccer, do what I can, score some goals, get some assists, stuff like that. But for our team, I think it's just kind of continuing to build our program and hopefully turning out better than this year.
Mhm. Well, thank you, Bodie, for coming on. It's a pleasure. Thanks for talking with me today.
Yeah, of course, Chris. Anytime, let me know.
Hmm. Yeah, you have a great night. Everyone, go check out Bodie's Instagram.
Thank you.
Give me a little shout out for something, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you. You have a great night or a great day. Oh wow, it's
Yeah,
have a
thank you,
great one,
Chris.
buddy.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep.